Welcome to another edition of the Empower Hour. I'm Al Kumar.
And I'm Hanifa.
And we are your hosts each and every week, where we come to you with impactful topics of discussion that affect our everyday lives. And today will be no different. We have with us on the program today King Rick out of Milwaukee. King Rick, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful to hear your voice. This is the powerful brother from the original Black Panther Party, who's up in Milwaukee making things happen. I mean, stomping the ground and not just stomping and making mountains move and making foundations shake.
I'm sure you've seen a video of him somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's all over the internet. Yep.
Somewhere out there. So we definitely want to have you on, King Rick, because of the impact that I see you're making. We're all the way over here in Maryland area, but we get your videos and we see, and I'll be rah cheering you on the whole way. And we just want to talk a little bit about your tactics, your strategy. So
okay, let's do it.
Yes.
All right. So welcome again to the program. So, you are one of the original Black Panther Party members?
Yes, ma'am. I started back in the early 70s as a Panther Cub at the age of 10 in Milwaukee.
Wow. So you've been in the movement for a long time, sound like.
Yep, 47 years of my 57 years.
Wow, impressive. What made you decide to be a Panther?
Well, growing up as a young man, I did not like the racism, the oppression, the injustice, and the inequality that was being perpetrated on our people. As a little kid, I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always ask my mother questions about why is it like this and why is it like that. So one day, my mother took me to the breakfast program for the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in Milwaukee. Subsequently, I was a Panther Cub, breakfast programs, and Black History classes in Milwaukee. That's how it all started.
Wow, so your mom sound like was a instrumental person in pushing you in that direction?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about today. So here you are now. I think you are the lead organizer of the party there in Milwaukee.
Yes, and we have chapters all over the country and 2 international chapters too.
Oh, okay. And you head up all those chapters?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I didn't know that. Okay. And what I find that's a little different in your style than most others is that you don't mind shaking things up. You don't mind getting in people's face. You don't mind pointing your finger in people's face and telling them directly what you demand from them if they're not doing things that you deem proper in your city. Would that be an accurate perception?
Well, power concedes nothing without a struggle or demand. Mm-hmm. And we have been so, homogenized that people are afraid to shake the trees and make the fruit fall. We have to get out here and let them know we're not asking for anything. We are demanding. And when we demand, people pay attention. They might not like the tactics, but when you got a group of strong black men and women dressed in black coming to check you, you get results.
Does that tactic work, in your opinion?
Yes, it does.
Can you give us some examples of like how that?
I'll give a perfect example. Well, several actually. There was a doctor at Children's Hospital in Milwaukee that threatened to lynch a black employee. And the black employee told us about it. We did what we did, and we got the doctor fired.
Wow. Okay.
And also there was an instance where a police officer took a gentleman off the bus in Brown Deer, Wisconsin, laid him on his stomach and shot him in his back. Mm-hmm. And subsequently we forced her to resign.
Now, how do you do this? How did you get the doctor fired? What was your how step us through that process?
Well, I mean, we made our voices heard. We went to Children's Hospital, to their corporate office, and said what we said, and we brought media attention to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the community was really upset about that, and Children's Hospital didn't want to look bad. You know, they're supposed to be protecting our children. They're not supposed to be having this racist doctor on their staff. There's no telling what she did to black and brown children. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Right.
So we got her fired.
Wow.
And also, yeah, there was a basketball coach here in Milwaukee, a college basketball coach, that called one of his ball players the N-word twice. Twice. We went to the college, checked him, and he got fired also.
Wow. So yeah, I know you guys are definitely out there big time. Why don't you think more people are doing what you're doing? I mean, if it's effective and you're you know what I'm saying, you're finding, that your methods are getting the results that you guys are looking for, why don't you think that your ideas are implemented elsewhere as often as we see you do?
Well, that's a good question. Some people are afraid to do what we do, and I'm not calling anybody out. I would never do that. And some people don't know how to do what we do, because the best way to do that is to get out and try it. You have to get out and try it. We have to make sure as a people that we do not allow anyone to disrespect us at all, our children, our queens, our community. We have to get out here, boots to the ground, and let them know this is unacceptable and intolerable. And if you're not going to change the dynamics, we're going to make you change them.
Yeah.
Do you consider...
And it's been working. It's been working.
Do you consider marching in the streets a form of intimidation?
Well, I think that in order to get results, we have to shake the trees and make the fruit fall.
Okay.
Because we've been too nice, too docile, too demure, and the conditions in our communities have not changed.
Right.
And it's up to us to change them. We have to make sure that they listen to us, because we're going to make them listen to us. We have to make sure that we go in there, hold them accountable. And when you hold people accountable, and it usually works, especially when you get the media involved, because they don't want bad publicity. That is another tactic that we use social media and regular media to our advantage.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's definitely one of my questions, as how effective is recording everything you do and getting it out there. I think, go ahead.
It's quite effective, because people will say, well, they did this and they do that. That's why we record everything, because we don't want anybody not to know, because people lie on you. Well, he did this, he didn't know. That's why we record everything, for that simple reason.
Yeah, and I think that too helps to galvanize the community behind you as well. Because if the community members are, watching you do all this right in their own neighborhoods, I think they'll be more likely to support you when you need it, because they see what you're doing. They're not just hearing it or hearsay or, having conversations. They can actually log on and see what you guys are doing out there in the streets.
Right. I mean, it's important that we lead by example. We have to lead by example. The power has always been in the hands of the people. We just have to use it effectively.
What do you say to people who consider may possibly consider your approach or your strategy almost asking for inclusion, to be included? What do you say to people who may say, well, why even go that route? Just, you see people that go to these stores, for example, like the hair shops. So someone might say, just stop going there. You know, why
And
go
that's,
in there and intimidate that person? Why not just stop shopping there? What do you say to that?
I tell individuals all the time, in the black and brown community, you have all these corner stores that leech and suck blood from our community. We're the ones keeping them in business.
Yes.
We're the ones that's making them millionaires. They don't spend money with us, we spend money with
Right.
them. And if we stop spending money with them, they'll go broke. And also the dynamics will change. Because it's about money with them. They want to make sure they can send their kids to college, have elevators in their houses and all that kind of thing. You know? But we're here to tell them your behavior in regards to our community is unacceptable. We're going to make sure that you are aware that we're not having it. And of course there's going to be people that does not like our approach, but that's okay.
Right.
If they don't like our approach, they need to get out here and do something on their own.
Yeah, I agree. What do you say? I heard you say a while back that we shouldn't allow anybody to disrespect us. So why is that so important? You think that to go after all these individuals who feel comfortable with disrespecting black people in black communities? Why should that matter to us? Yeah.
Well, I think that we have to demand our respect. If we're the ones that's keeping these businesses open with our money, they need to respect us. And if they don't respect us, we need to stop shopping there. That's just the cold hard facts about it. Also, we need to open up our own stores and businesses as well. You know, that's a major problem in our community. We don't have enough black-owned businesses where we can get what we need. That's why economics is the key to true freedom.
Right.
Is it
because to simply say stop shopping there and not offer an alternative, saying this is where they get their laundry soap, this is where they've been getting their laundry soap for the last, and that's just an example. But there is no alternative within 10 miles of where that person lives. You know, what's going to happen is they're going to go, a lot of it is, you know, they say convenience store. A lot of people shop to these places or go to these because it's within proximity of them. It's convenient.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I totally agree with you where it's not enough to just say stop supporting,
Right.
but where are the alternatives as well? Are you starting to see in the community work that you do, are you starting to see possibly more black people coming together and trying to open up these businesses?
Yeah, we have to pool our money together to do that. You know, Milwaukee's the most racist and hyper-segregated city in the country. The social and economic conditions that plague the black and brown community are deplorable. Redlining is a problem. Not getting bank loans are a problem. We need to stop asking and demand this. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If 200 people went down to City Hall and disrupted that meeting on a continual basis, the dynamics would change.
Good point. And that's the key to organizing. Because, you know, to hear you say that is one thing, but to have, and you really don't need but one or two strong people to organize that 200. And that's the power of organizing the masses in one direction.
Right.
So you mentioned Milwaukee being one of the racist and segregated people. Describe Milwaukee to those who may not have a single clue what that looks like.
Okay. I can do that. In downtown Milwaukee and its Upper East Side, you have over $6 billion worth of infrastructure. $6 billion. But in the black and brown community, you have crumbs. And people are docile, demure, and don't want to speak out on that because they're comfortable in this. They're comfortable in their enslavement. And I tell them there's absolutely nothing comfortable about being a slave. We have to speak out. We have to demand. If you got $6 billion downtown and Upper East Side of crumbs in the black and brown community, that's not fair.
Right. And I
And
know
it's up to change that.
Right, and I know the racial makeup of the city is almost 50-50, right? I mean, you know, you have a like
No.
No?
In Milwaukee, we're over 60% black and Latino.
Oh.
Black and brown.
Okay.
And that's power.
I misread.
That's power.
That is. Yeah.
But now, what's the makeup of the political arena? Do you got? Are we? Do you see? Yeah, thank you. Are we represented strongly?
Yeah, we're represented. We're represented in a lot of areas, but our politicians are bought off, homogenized, comfortable slaves. Yeah. They don't want to. They don't want to make waves because they want to be comfortable, and they want people to pay them off under the table to do certain things. Because I'll give you a perfect example. There's a corner on 27th Street in Milwaukee, and on three of those four corners, you have a liquor store, tobacco store, on three of the four corners. What other community allows that?
Right.
That sounds like most black communities.
Inner cities, particularly.
Right. Yeah. All over the country.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But these are some of the...
Stop allowing that to happen, man. We got to stand up and speak out and change that. I mean, they want us to be intoxicated, inebriated, and walk around like zombies so we don't change the dynamics of our community. But that's not going to happen. We're waking up slowly but surely, but we're waking up. We're going to change all of that. I believe it. I know it.
Now, where's your support come from? Your main base of support?
We have support from all over the country and all over the world. And in Milwaukee, there's a great number of people that love us, but there's a certain number that doesn't love us. And I don't concern myself with the people that don't agree with what we do. I concern myself with the community. Because if my brother and sister is hurting, then so am I. If my brother and sister is hungry, then so am I. So I don't concern myself with the haters and those who talk bad. There's been several assassination attempts on my life. So yeah.
So the people on the street, though, the masses of the people that you are serving, are you getting more support from them?
Yeah, the masses love us.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
The soldiers in the street love us. They love us.
Yeah. And I imagine some of the politicians don't, huh?
99%.
That's usually how I go. That's usually how
Because we hold them accountable too. We go down to the common council meetings and we shut it down.
So how do you guys do people notify you guys of like an issue that they may be having, and then you guys decide to take action? How do you determine what is worth your time and attention and what isn't?
Well, we have a national hotline that we use, and we investigate everything thoroughly before we get involved, because we don't want to be out here looking dumb and stupid. Because some people are trying to play you. You know what I mean? And we want to make sure that what we're doing is above board, and that is true and correct. Because there's been instances where people have came to us with issues and they were blaming the individual, but it was them that was the problem.
Oh, okay.
Do you ever work with people outside of Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, like I said, we have chapters all over the country.
Okay, so I mean, do your chapter travel to different states and stuff if people need assistance, or have you?
I travel. I travel across the country. I speak at engagements. I speak at colleges. We'll be in Tulsa in March. I was supposed to come to D.C. to speak at Howard, but they haven't gotten back to me on that.
Okay, well, definitely let me know when you come this way so we can make sure we put you on a line up here at Everlasting Life. You know, you and I owe you a dinner anyway.
Hey, I'm a big man, so let's do it.
I already know. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I already took that into consideration.
Okay. Let's make that happen.
If someone is interested in perhaps joining you guys and what you're doing, do you guys vet the people that join your organization? And what exactly does that look like?
Well, I mean, we are always looking for new members.
Okay.
to join us in this fight against the racist and oppressive nature of America. But everybody can't be a Panther. They don't have it. They don't.
Right.
You know, they see us on TV, they see us on social media, but that is a small percentage of what we do. Small percentage.
What does it require for one to become a Panther?
Love for the people and don't be a fed.
Don't be a fed.
Afraid.
Oh, afraid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you said don't be a fed. Don't be afraid. Okay.
No, a fed. COINTELPRO.
Oh,
Yeah, I missed that. Okay, COINTELPRO. Okay, yeah. Like, I know you said
Right.
fed. Okay.
So I watched the video, the short infomercial video you guys put out there. And what stuck out for me was well done too, by the way, well documented. What stood out for me was the vast difference in the people who are in your organization. You have students, people who are, you know, in school for law degrees. You know, you have ex offenders. You have grandfathers, you know, like yourself. So I found that very interesting that you guys run the gamut, and you know, it's like all these people who have different lifestyles, but they all have the same thought in mind that they need to do something more in the community that not only just help themselves, but they help their people as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have to understand, as being kings and queens, that the complete village is our family.
Yeah.
We have to understand that we have to get back to that. You know, we are the ones that control our narrative. We have to stop letting other people control our narrative. That's going to end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate how you make declarations. That's important. Because like you saying, no, that's coming to an end. Oh no, that's going to happen. It's important because we don't get a lot of that when we discuss the issues that are happening to us within this society. There's a lot of like doom, you know, woe is me, we're never going to overcome. There's, you know, people are discouraged oftentimes because of just the history of us in this country. So it's much appreciated to hear you make those type of declaration like this is going to happen. And because you're on the, I'm assuming that that's connected to you being on the ground and also seeing the progress that you guys are just making one city at the time. Am I correct?
You are correct. You are 100% correct.
So it's important. So I'm assuming it's important for people to kind of get into the meat of the work because you really don't know what's going on out there. Social media can be tricky, like you just said.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
social media, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because it can appear one way on social media, like people see it and it's like, oh, I can do this. You know, you want to be a social media activist, but to get into the meat of it on the ground is where the challenge comes in, oftentimes.
Yes. Good point. Good point. So what advice would you give to those who see what you're doing, want us help and support, but are not quite confident or quite sure that, you know, what to do to get started? What do you suggest to those folks?
Well, you know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. You know, everybody can't do what we do, and we can't do what they do. You know, it's going to take us united as one to get out here and change the deplorable conditions of our city. Everybody has a purpose, you know, and we have to build upon what they do best and unite and get it together, because just because our politics are confrontational doesn't mean that everyone's politics are confrontational, you know? But we need people in the courtroom, we need people in Fortune 500 companies, we need people in politics, we need people owning businesses. And we definitely need a spook who sat by the door.
Many of them.
Many.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that what Hanifa was just explaining, how, you know, the discouragement from our community And oftentimes I find that is what halts progress. It's like it stops because it's almost like a dichotomy. How do you, like she just got finished saying that you use affirmations all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the demands. Mm-hmm. This is going to happen or this is not going to happen versus somebody that is discouraged. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think that's part of the reasoning why a lot of us don't act or are in an immobile state because we are so discouraged, because in our minds we've convinced our own selves that poor little old me, whatever I do ain't gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. Would you agree with that? Would you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, but you know, we have to try.
Yeah.
We have to get out here and make a change. We have to do that because that's the only way our conditions are going to get any better. Mm-hmm. Everybody united has to get out there and have their voices heard. The power has always been in the hands of the people. We just have to use it effectively.
Yeah.
I think also too, oftentimes, I think what has happened over the course of time is that we've watched a lot of our leaders rise and knocked down, killed. And this is not just across this country. This is like globally, because we know of many like African leaders that we can talk about right now that has happened to. But do you think that how much does the fear of death play in people's refusal to act?
Good question.
You know, I look at it this way. I am not afraid to die for my community, but before I die for my community, I want to live for my community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, does that scare you though?
No.
Clearly.
Not really, because let's be honest. If somebody truly wants to get you, they'll get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not really nothing you can do about that. So don't waste your time worrying about that. You get out here and you change the dynamics. You know, and you know, I travel with bodyguards. I have bodyguards with me, you know, due to the fact that the assassination attempts on my life.
That was my next question. You've had assassination attempts on your life?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You want to elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, and those people who have tried to take my life are black people, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, my home was shot at.
Wow. On
more than one occasion. The tires on my vehicle, all the lugs were taken off my vehicle.
Wow.
People came to businesses and other places where I was at with guns and whatnot to try and get me. Yeah.
How should those type of people, black people, be dealt with in your opinion? Do we hug it out with them and say, I understand why you was put up to this, it's not your fault? Or do these people need to be taken out or removed from in one form or another from the community? How do we handle traitors?
Well, me personally, if you are an individual who's tried to do that to me, I cut you off completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay.
Because if you try to take my life once, you'll probably try to do it again.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm not going to sit here and sing Kumbaya and hug it out with them. No.
Right.
I'm going to watch my back, and whenever they're around, I'm going to watch them too.
I wonder if that's effective.
What?
Just shunning them.
Well, somebody. I mean, I'm assuming that these are paid. These people are probably paid to do this. You know, I don't know if it's like of their own volition. Like I'm not sure that they're getting up and saying, "I hate this man, so I'm gonna kill him." I don't know. I'm just saying. So that's why I ask, because oftentimes these people are paid off. So how do we handle them?
Yes, they are.
You know, yeah,
yes,
they are. And so if someone is hungry, we have so many different professions where we say, this person may be a stripper, and we're like, they get the judgment, and they're looking like, I just need to feed my family. They could take someone who may have a court case against them, and they just want their freedom, and so they say, okay, well, if you do this, You know, so that's why I asked the question, because we sort of know this. History tells us when these people that look like us try to take our leaders out, it's usually they're paid individuals.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we handle? That's
Yeah.
why I asked the question.
Yeah, I mean, we have to understand that just because just because they're skin folk don't mean they're kinfolk.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's been clear throughout the course of history.
Yeah.
Throughout. This ain't nothing new.
Oh yeah, nothing new. Because if you notice, leaders who make noise and who don't sell out usually get assassinated. Usually.
Have you ever had any case? Have you guys ever come on any cases like, say,
No, I was
sorry.
thinking too much.
Have you guys ever come upon any cases like, you know, a lot of the stuff that I've seen videos will be like the hair shops where you guys are able to say to that individual that look like you, hey, this was on you, this was your fault, we're not gonna take this on. Have you ever encountered those?
Oh yeah, we get those because we investigate everything that we do in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, we talk to the people, we assess the situation, and then we decide if we're going to undertake it or not.
Okay.
Because people try and use you for their benefit.
Do you get a lot of that?
They can go into a store and cuss out the store clerk, and then come to us saying the store clerk cussed them out.
Right.
That sounds like some women stuff. That sounds like us. I better be a whole bunch of ladies do stuff like that, huh?
Would you say from your observation that a lot of times these situations can either be avoided or de-escalated depending on our reaction? Would you say that? Like sometimes they could be handled differently? Because I've seen some videos where I question that, you know, as a black woman who is big on controlling your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really big on that. And so I see these situations and I said, this could have been completely avoided.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I agree. That's why we have to investigate. You know, we have to make sure that we're not out here looking dumb and looking stupid.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's in every situation that we do.
So I know we're gonna be wrapping up in a little bit. So I have one more question. What would you guys and what you're doing, being on the ground, would you say is the biggest challenge that you guys encounter in doing this work?
Black unity. That's the biggest challenge that we have.
I mean, what do you mean when you say that? I mean, what does that look like? Are you attempting to get support? Tell us why you say that.
Well, I look at it this way. Just because we don't agree with the message does not mean we can't work together.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Good point.
We have to understand that just because you don't like me does not mean we can't work together. We have to keep our eye on the prize.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the ultimate goal. That's the betterment of our community. That's what we have to do. Black unity is suffering. And people seem to be cool with that. I'm not cool with that.
So you saying that there's a lot of folks who may not agree with some of your tactics and how you guys go about doing it, so they don't support you at all?
Right. There's a lot of them like that in Milwaukee.
Even though some of the tactics that you're using may very well be helping them in the long run.
Oh yeah, and those people who they eventually call us. That's happened numerous times. They talk bad about us on social media and in the community, but then when something happens to them, who's the first person that they call?
Wow, that's interesting.
And we'll still help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the bigness. I mean, you can't do the type of work you guys do and not have a big heart. And not have a love for the people, you know.
A forgiving heart too.
And a forgiving heart. Yeah, that kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, we're hurt people and dealing with each other, period.
Yeah, yeah, and just having that better, greater understanding of that. Yeah. So we're running out of time here. So in the last 60 seconds, share with us some of the other things that you guys do besides, I know there's a little bit more you guys do there in Milwaukee besides rough up business owners.
Well, we do
And
numerous community giveaways. We take, on Mother's Day, we take mothers who have lost children to violence out for a 5-star dinner. We give them a complete makeover. In the summertime, we have a neighborhood cleanup where we take about 50 to 70 kids. We give them a Panther Cub t-shirt. We pay them and we feed them. Also, in August, we take 50 children. We give them a brand new book bag with brand new athletic shoes and a book bag. Also, during November, we give away 100 brand new hats, scarves, and coats and turkeys to the community. And then for Kwanzaa, we take children who have lost parents to violence shopping with a Panther. They get $200 each, and we take them shopping, and they can spend it on whatever they want to.
Wow.
But the kicker is they got to spend it all. You can't take it home.
Okay.
Right. Wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Now, and I know those who may be watching this and want to support you can't physically get out there with you for whatever reasons. Maybe they're not even, nowhere near you in proximity. How can they support you?
Well, I would like to give them our national number, and they can always call us.
Okay.
And that number is 414-366-0221. Once again, that number is 414-366-0221.
Okay.
What about financial support?
Well, we're self-sufficient. If people want to support us financially, that's cool. But, we don't, people have tried to buy us off, sliding envelopes across the table, and I slide it right back.
Wow. You've seen it all then, sound like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But if people want to financially support us, they can call that number. We can work that out. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a Cash App somewhere where they can just, drop some
Yes, we have a Cash App.
What?
Cash App is $King Rick 956.
$King Rick 956.
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna do, what we do here on the Empower Hour, which is help to get the word out to as widely as humanly possible. And we thank you. We thank you so much for taking time out to share with us on this program. And we wish you much success. We're watching. We're rooting. I'm definitely rooting. Every chance I get, I can't wait to see what you guys are doing next. It's almost like I'm almost ashamed to say, but it's almost like entertainment for me to watch.
Wow. Well, we like that.
To watch you guys in action.
Yeah,
For real.
I like that. Yeah. And before I go, I just want to let everybody know you are too black, too strong to be denied.
I love it.
Right.
Ashe. We receive. Thanks again, King Rick.
You.
All right,
Okay,
family.
Queens.
Have
a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much. That has been our Empower Hour. We thank you guys for tuning in. You want to join our page on Facebook, which is the Empower Hour Talk Show, and hit the chime button. That way you'll get a notation anytime we go live. We do this once a week, Hanifa and I, and we always come with different topics, impactful topics. And we're 2 year plus running, so we've been doing this a while now.
Me too.
And the YouTube channel. So in all of our past episodes, we go live, as you see on Facebook. But if you want to see any of our past episodes, like I said, we've been doing this every week for at least 2 years plus. So Facebook channel. The channel is Miss Free the People. That's spelled MS Free the People. We encourage you to subscribe to that channel as well. We give you a lot of information on that channel, as well as the Empower Hour Facebook page. Next week, we'll be coming to you with Sister Shanice, all the way from the UK, and she's going to be talking to us about Africa and what's going on the ground out in Africa right now. If you're interested in repatriating,
Just
traveling,
just to visit.
if you're wanting to travel to Africa, how do you do that on a dime? So she's the one to talk to, and I think you'll be very, very excited to hear what she has to share. So tune in next week for that. And until next time, family, take care of each other out there. Peace.